Hey guys, Kev here, and I have some rapid reviews to do for you. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 knives that have come through recently. I don't think I need to do full videos on any of them. I kind of did full unboxings, and my thoughts tend to come out in unboxings. And unless I have a ton of experience in carry and whatnot, don't really necessarily need to do a full review of the knife after. So anyway, first up we have some Asher prototypes. This is the Spiro, and this is the stud one with the fuller. And I gotta say, this one is amazing. So this is a prototype, so the action that feels a little bit, you can feel the balls rolling and whatnot. That doesn't happen in production usually. It gets sorted out in prototyping. From when I talked to Justin over at Asher, he, because I told him that, I was like, it feels a little janky. And he was like, yeah, the prototypes tend to do that, and then the production ones are good. So I trust him on that. I really like this one. Honestly, I think this is my favorite of the Spiros so far. And I'm normally a hull guy, but the way these studs line up and fire just works so well, in my opinion. It works pretty well left-handed. Obviously, you got to worry about, where you are on the lock bar, but pretty solid. You have a stonewash blade in S35BN. You have black pivot collars, all that good stuff. So really cool piece. Reversible deep carry clip. Lanyard pin back here. Yeah, I like this guy quite a bit. Yeah, so this guy was available shortly, and then he had to pull the drop. He had a drop coming, but he noticed some QC issues. These are done by Kunwu. I believe all three of these Ashers I'm going to show you are done by Kunwu. He noticed some QC issues, and he decided to postpone the drop, send them back. They're going to get fixed up, and then he's going to do the drop. So he's being very smart and proactive about his QC, which is really good to hear as a consumer, right? So that's the Spiro with studs there. Then there's the Nomad, I believe, 4.0. It could be the 3.0. I think it's the 4.0. And this one is an Axis style lock. I did talk to Justin about this one, and my concern in the unboxing was the clip, because it is mounted right side only. What he told me is it's going to be, I believe this is what he said, it's going to be a wire clip that is reversible. It's definitely reversible, whatever it is, but I'm pretty sure he said a wire clip, and it'll be reversible in production. He also said the spring in here for the Axis style lock, crossbar lock, will be stiffer. That was another thing I had an issue with in the unboxing. And I believe that because Kunwu just came out with the Pulsar, and they have a softer and stronger spring setup. So they definitely know how to do stronger springs. It's something that they're working on. So I believe that will happen for sure. So with those changes, I think this is going to be cool. You do have a fuller there you can try to flick off of. I'm not very good at it. I would just use the studs. But this is the Nomad crossbar lock, and this is kind of that monoblock construction, which is really cool. I'm sure it'll come in black and gray G10. Hopefully he adds some other colors to his lineup, but he's a very monochrome kind of guy. One thing I want to note about these is the clip. This is a newer style clip for him. He has been doing it on the Spiro here with the hole. You can see this last run has this clip. And it can be a little tight when you get it. But if you just carry it, it breaks in really quick, I noticed. I'd rather have a clip that's a little tighter than a clip that's too light, you know what I mean? But if you really felt it was too light, you could easily just, put a little pressure in here and bend out just slightly. You do very small increments at a time, so you don't end up with a tapper. But that'll help you loosen it up a little bit. This one broke in really well after just carrying it for like a day. So I actually really like the new clip because it has this cool reversible feature at the bottom here. And then it's a really nice and thick steel clip, which is nice. So just wanted to mention that. That's on most of the new models, you're seeing that. Again, this one I think is going to be a wire clip. So that's the Axis style lock one. Then we have this one. I can't ever remember the name of this, but it reminds me of the Silva and the Flashback, like mashed together, which I think is really cool. G10 show side, titanium frame lock on this side. You have a short deep carry clip, like I said, same clip. And then you have a really interesting Tanto blade. I mean, you have that aggressive Tanto. The grinds are almost the same length on each, and just gnarly looking. But I think it's really cool, and it's one of those Tantos in that shape that I actually like. Usually, I don't love the way these aggressive, tactical-looking Tantos come out, but this model just somehow is cool to me. It does have a fuller there, so if you are right-handed, you can flick that. This is not going to be the greatest knife for lefties just because it's a frame lock. I'm guessing the clip will not be reversible in production because it has this, what am I trying to say? It has the monoblock construction. So this is not a backspacer. This is part of this scale over here, as far as I can tell. Yeah. Which is cool. Really good action on it. I like this a lot. So keep your eyes out for this guy coming up. I'm sure it'll be on his website with a name or his Instagram. I apologize for not getting that. I think he might have told me in conversation, and then I just kind of forgot. I would say on this one to pull that logo off, that is just a little bit too big in that location. You don't even have to put it on the pivot. I know he's been doing that a lot. I'm kind of the mind myself these days. You don't even need it. Like, people know it's you. You know what I mean? Like, we're in a niche sort of part of the knife world here. I don't think we need to tell people what our knife brands are. I think people know, you know? It's kind of where I'm at with it. But this is really cool. Next up, I have the Calum Blade Designs Ari. I did do a disassembly, bearing swap, and an unboxing of this production version. So I'll be brief here. This is really cool. It's not my style in terms of size. It's very big. It's 3.6-inch blade with a pretty nice handle. Overall size, I mean, this thing's got to be close to 9 inches. Really awesome. That's what she said. Dead centered with skifferoons in there. Came with amazing action. No need for the skiffs, but you know me. Detent is on point on this. I mean, it is stout. Left-handed, you got to worry about this frame lock a little bit. It is covered, but you got to come up onto this carbon fiber onlay. If you come right here where my natural grip is, and then it works, right? You can't flick it most times. So you got to come up here, and then it'll fire. It's just an adjustment. It's fine. The coolest feature on this knife, in my opinion, are the pivot collars. They look like collars on an integral knife. It's not integral. And the price point is really good. It's probably going to be somewhere around 300 bones in S90V. Beautiful belt satin grinds. Horizontal up here. Copper carbon fiber inlays. You have this really nice pivot with his logo. That's really neat. Reversible clip with filler tab is cool. I love how he has this hidden screw. Not hidden, but matching screw color there for the inlay. I'd say, you know, the thing I don't like about it, you know, the size obviously isn't for me personally. And then the exposed frame lock down here, because it just, as a lefty, makes it hard. But in general, I do think it's pretty cool to have a reverse bolster lock like that. But front flipper works great. If you don't have a jacked up thumb, let me do it this way. Works fantastic. I've never tried to reach around on it. Yeah, not gonna. But front flipper works great. And then you obviously have a hole for a thumb flick and a reverse flick. Really good stuff. Good access to the lock bar. Good closing action. Really solid knife. Calum Blades Ari. And I believe these are available on his website right now. Next up, we have some knives that came in from Blade Ops. The first one is the disappointing one to me, the Kershaw Heist. Now, I've had a lot of people, okay, when I say a lot, I mean like 3 or 4, who have told me they have one of these and they really like it and they're surprised that mine, you know, isn't good. Now, this isn't mine. This was loaned in by Blade Ops. Shout out to them. And I gotta say, when I got this out of the box, I was pretty damn disappointed. The spring on this is super mushy. I mean, yes. Just, I don't know. I just don't enjoy that at all. The access to this crossbar is kind of shallow. Like it sits in pretty far, so it's not like hard or anything, but a little less easy, a little harder than other ones to grab. Like the one we just looked at from Asher, you have the crossbar button sticking out a little bit. Makes it so easy to grab onto and pull down. Where this guy, you know, I don't know how to explain it. And then on top of that, even with some blade play, it doesn't want to swing down. It like, you got to like throw it down, right? I don't understand why Kershaw went with washers here. They easily could have taken a step, you know, and tried to go past Benchmade a little bit in a sense, where what it feels like is they're just trying to do what Benchmade does. They have a crossbar lock, FRN, a D2, right? Which, you know, the D2 is not even like trying that hard to be like Benchmade. If they had, you know, put a stronger spring on here, done bearings, and just try to differentiate themselves a little, I think I just like it a little better. It just feels kind of like, hey, we can make some money. Let's make these $50 crossbar lock. Everybody likes crossbar locks from Benchmade. We'll just make one like that. We'll take, you know, a generic design. I love their design language, and I like this design, but it's very generic, right? I don't know. There's just something about this I don't love. Now, if it had a stronger spring, would I be more... And if I had better action, would I be like, yeah, this thing's great? Yeah, maybe, you know? So that really does dampen it for me personally. So you guys got to take that into consideration. It is cool, right? Like the Grivery or plastic, whatever, polymer is better than what I've seen on Benchmade's. I just think this looks good. It looks better, feels better. It almost has a G10 feel to it or aluminum feel. So I like that. Like, there's some stuff here. I guess this is the best way for me to put it. There's enough here that I feel disappointed, right? I'm not just like, oh, you know, like, God damn it, right? Kershaw, you suck, right? Like, no, it's like, I wanted this to be better. This had potential. And that's why, you know, it's like, I'm rooting for them to do this well, and they missed on some things, and that's what kind of bugs me, if that makes sense. I'm just a disappointed dad, you know what I mean? Like, just go the next step, guys. Use G10, okay? Use G10 or aluminum, whatever. Use 14C for crying out loud, or Nitro V, or something other than D2. Are you kidding me? Put bearings in here, or at the very least, get the action right with a nice stout spring. Like, that's what people want these days. Get your centering somewhere in the vicinity of centered. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. We've been dealing with Benchmade for years, and they're not perfect. But, like, it's got to be close. And here's the thing, guys. Kershaw's warranty, is it anything like Benchmade? Because the thing with Benchmade is, oh, maybe you get one that's off center or whatever, but they will freaking take care of it. You know, you'll get a knife back that's almost perfect pretty quickly from Benchmade. Where Kershaw, it's like you can't even get a hold of their freaking warranty team. They shut down their warranty team a couple of years ago. I don't know if that's back up and running. So, you know, that kind of stuff. It's just disappointing, and I want it to be better is my point. Now, I have heard from people that their springs are stronger and it's snappy and they love it. So I hope that that's the case of the majority of the time. And I hope that you guys are happy, right? Like, I'm not trying. I don't want them to be bad. I want this to be good. It just isn't. This one just isn't good. I've heard the Iridium is very good, so I might try to check that out. But we'll see. The last few knives Blade Ops has sent me, I've I haven't been too nice to. So we'll see if they keep sending me stuff. But yeah, this one, there's potential, right? But it's just lacking in a lot of categories for me. So that is the Heist from Kershaw. And I'll link that on Blade Ops if you're interested. I don't know if it's available there, but you can go check out the link. Now, the last one is the Tagout from Benchmade. And this is an example of a knife that is well done in this category, right? Now, this one's 55 bucks. This one's 180. Okay, I get that. This is 154 CM. This is D2. This is China. That's USA made. That makes a difference, right? You can basically add 100 bucks for USA made. So now we'd be at 155 here. And then you can add a little bit, maybe 20, 30 bucks for the 154. That's how you get from this in D2 to that in 154, and you're still wearing Grivery. Because people are like, oh, you can't compare these. I don't know. I can compare them. They're both crossbar locks in plastic. Like they both have springs in there. It's not like the $180 knife has magical springs or whatever. You know, it's just that this one's made in the United States and it has 154 CM. This one's made in China and it has D2. That's why this one's 55 and this one's 180. You know? So I can compare them all I want. That doesn't mean you have to believe it. But the difference, that's the thing here, guys. The difference here is, one, Benchmade took the time to make sure this guy was centered, and they did a good job on it. Two, they put stronger springs in it. That doesn't cost more, guys. That's just a better spring, okay? Those are really the two factors that come into play. And maybe their tolerances are a little better, so the action's a little better. I don't know. But this one has a good little snap to it. I can feel resistance here that I have to push past a little bit to close it. This one, you know, this one's just floppy. This one, I hit a wall right here. Kind of, see that? So, big difference there. Anyway, this one has a hole or a slot. I love this knife. The Tagout from Benchmade is fantastic. Now, I did have somebody point out in my, I think it was my reel. Ooh, Tappy McTapperson. No. No. Are you loose? Why are you tapping there, sir? I am not about that, guys. This is not my knife. But I don't want whoever ends up with this to end up with Tappy McTap-Taps over here. Show you a trick I learned. I don't know if I learned it or whatever, but anyway. So you put the clip on backwards, and then you put it in your pocket. I'm just kidding. Don't do that last part. I feel like I could strip this out so easy. It wants to keep turning. But anyway, you put it on backwards, and then you can... I try to be gentle so I don't snap anything. Just bend it down like that. That should be plenty. See if anything happened. I did carry this, so maybe the pants I had were thick. No more tap. Now it's nice and tight, guys. Maybe too tight, but I think it'll be fine. So, shit, I forget what I was getting at now. But, it has a slot. And, somebody said... when I posted the reel, kind of comparing these two, Somebody said, well, you're trying harder on the tagged out. It's clear that you're flicking a lot harder on that one than you are on this one. Like, you're not trying as hard on the Kershaw, right? But the fact of the matter is this one has a stronger spring, so it has resistance. So when I go to flick it, I have to flick it harder to pass the resistance. That is literally the epitome of why this is better. That is why a detent is good on a knife, because you have the resistance to flick through. I have something against, right? I don't know how to explain that better. On this, I can try that, but this is what happens. I try to build up energy and flick it out. And yeah, I can kind of do it there, but it's very weak, right? Where this, I can build up that energy and fire it. Part of it's ergos too, I think, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that this has a stronger tension, which is great. So I really like the tagged out. I want to pick one of these up. I do. So my thinking was I would wait until they come out with an aluminum M390 or carbon fiber M390 version, and then pick that up, or G10, or maybe when it's on the custom shop, something like that. Somebody else said, well, why don't you just buy one and then put scales on it? And that might be a smart move. Like, maybe I just buy this one because I know it has the decent spring on it already. And then I could get some custom scales that have lefty carry. So that's possible. But then you're taking a $180 knife and you're adding, $120 for scales. And I mean, I get that the M390 one in carbon fiber is probably going to be $280, $300 anyway. But I don't know. It just kind of feels nicer to me to get it stock from factory, have the lefty clip on there, and just call it a day. Because I really did like the M390 carbon fiber bug out. I thought that one was really cool. So that would be the one I'd like to get here. This one has a fantastic edge on it, just like super sticky sharp. I've really enjoyed my time with this piece. It has good closing action. You pull the lock back, lean it a little bit, and it'll fall down here. Just like, that's good, right? I'm not doing a ton of work. I'm just kind of pulling back and giving it a little swing. Again, on this one, it just doesn't work that way. So I know I'm comparing things that are a little bit different, and I get that. But to me, they're very similar. Crossbar locks, Grivery, budget-ish steel, I guess. It's just a matter of USA made, so it costs more money. And I think this is a case where you're seeing the USA quality. Do I love that it's Grivery? No, I don't. But you're seeing the quality versus this, in my humble opinion. The centering issue, the spring issue, the action not being, the way I want it to be out of the box or whatever. And this guy, I've handled a few of these, Blade Show, stuff like that, and they've all had this very nice, snappy detent to them. So that's the tagged out. I really like this guy. Highly recommend it. I know it's $180, guys, but it's USA made. We can't have it both ways. And that's one of the biggest things right now in the community is like, you want to cry that stuff's made in China, but then we make it here and it's, $200 for these materials. And you're like, that Benchmade sucks. They got to change their ways. And it's like, well, you can't have it both ways. So it's just kind of how it goes. Anyway, this is just rambling at this point. Big shout out to Blade Ops for loaning in these two, the tagged out and the heist. Still glad I got to check this out. Just, not for me as of now. And then shout out to Calum Blade Designs for sending the RE my way. And then, of course, Asher Knife Co. for letting me check out these prototypes that are dope. Keep your eyes tuned for Asher Knives and use my code LeftyEDC for 10% off your orders. I love you guys. I would love to hear your opinion on this stuff. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.